So good morning, everyone. Not it's almost late. It's good afternoon. Doesn't matter. So I'm not very far from here. So straight away, let me get into the system. So let us straight away get into the presentation. And basically, I am from Wardha only. And I think some of the students from here already, people have visited my institute. And today is some sort of an interdisciplinary related topic, and I am going to start because I am very much interested. Now I see that a lot of eminent people have given a lot of presentation. I was so impressed. Impressed not only that, it is very interested also that people are doing so much of research on so many different new areas. Okay, but what I am going to take, I am going to consider in this part of presentation is that mostly related to rural-based things. Because our institute is Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization, and we are very much focused towards rural industrialization. Our objective is very clear. We are not going very wide. We are going very narrow. Because it is necessary. There are so many people are working on so many different directions, and we don't want to put our efforts or waste our energy in something else. So we are very much going towards very narrowly to the rural-based industry. Before that, I wanted to give some information about what is rural development. Maybe it is a new area, new information, or new terms for the students here. And what is rural development? Rural development is a strategy designed to improve the economic and the social life of the poor people, particularly rural area. Second, what are the challenges in rural development? Why I am very much focused on rural development is that 71% of Indian population is 71% of population is in rural area, and 29% of the rural population is below the poverty line. And we are very much focusing. And also I wanted to tell you that in the 70s, if you see that early 1970s, 30, 40 years before, rural development means it is only agriculture related. People used to think that only agriculture related thing is rural development. It was the idea at that time, but it is not so. And it has been keep on modifying it, and it is keep on changing it, and it is becoming a focal point now. So lifestyle in the rural area is different from urban area. It's true. Why? Their government, because many other things are there, and government services like school. If you take a school here, the Datta Institute must be having a school. There is their structure and their facilities are something different. The same thing if you get into a rural school infrastructure is something different. A lot of things are there. So rural-based system and the urban-based system, they are having a lot of differences. And then public transport, these are the simple things involved in this rural development. And one is infrastructure. Infrastructure is very important, and also technology, health, education, and economy. And what are the problems in rural development? First is people related. Second is agriculture related problems. That is one of the reasons in early 70s or 1970, this rural development was taken as, it was considered that it is agriculture related. And then infrastructure related problems, rural roads and so many other problems are there, economic problems, social and cultural problems, leadership related problems. That is also important. Okay, panchayats are there, so many other problems are there, and also administrative problems. Who is going to govern it? There are a lot of issues in this rural development related. And the main and important thing is that rural, only for a few slides I will be giving some information later, mostly in the story. And rural development is what is the need for rural development? First, to develop rural youth, children, and women. As I told you, 71% of the population is in the rural area, and 29% is below poverty line. And we are focusing very much towards the youth. Okay, already elder people are there, almost their lifespan is almost over. So we are supposed to at least focus on the youth and the children. Second, develop economy, society, technology, and health. Maybe here, if you people are having also medical sciences, and it is compulsory also. After their studies, they have to go to villages and they have to work there for 2 years. Why it is not compulsory? Because in many rural areas, they don't have any medical facilities. Technology is also not there. So, and also if you see that during this, because of this type of variation in the urban and the rural area, a lot of migration is also taking place. Okay, migration causes other type of problems, environmental problem, so many other problems are there. So rural development is very important, and also to improve rural marketing. Marketing is also another issue. For example, the farmers they grow a lot of products, but they don't get much profit. These products are taken to the urban area, and the mediators they make a lot of money. So now a lot of systems are coming such a way that the farmers can directly link with the consumer, and so many new proper people are. For example, in Tamil Nadu, they call it as Ulavar Sandai. Ulavar means farmer, Sandai is a heart. Okay, so the farmers they can bring their product there and directly they can sell, so that they get much more profit. And the farmers are really suffering. You don't know that. Now I was talking to a friend of mine who is having 5 acres of land nearby Yavatmal, and he was telling me that I spent almost ₹1,00,000 due to rain. Everything is gone. ₹1,00,000 is simple, okay, but people can manage, but the farmer cannot manage. And you know that your region, Vidarbha region, is very famous for farmers' suicide. Okay, so farmers are really suffering. So like that, there are some problems are there. So people are trying to help in marketing, and they also to be educated. It's not that all of a sudden, if you take somebody and if I bring some example, there are some uneducated youth here working here. If I bring him and I put him in a computer lab, do you think that he can do any work? No, he needs some sort of an education, some help like that. Now, it is a little bit changed. See, normally if you see that, we keep on evolution. It's called evolution. Those days, we had some sort of a system and we keep on changing. And the same way, this rural development took a new direction called sustainable rural development. Why? There were some small problems. Some of the things which were not sustainable. So they started talking about sustainable rural development. So that technology, for example, if I am taking a technology to the rural area, many projects. I worked in so many different projects. I know that many of them also know. Professors here, everybody knows that. We take some project. All of a sudden, as you know that you are from your engineering college, you are taking some technology and taking it to the village. Okay, fine. That first initial stages, you may be having some money. You can implement the project. But after you leave, there won't be any continuation. There won't be any follow-up. People may not be in a position to take it up. This project, I had one very interesting example. I wanted to give one example here. When I was working in Wardha, I have been asked to evaluate one of the solar energy project, solar pumping project. It was funded by DFID. Okay, so this is and what happened? There is a very interesting thing. Some 10 villages were there, and there is a water. They had enough water also. And simple, they use the motor to pump water to a higher level, and from there, due to gravity, they are supposed to supply. And they have given the funds also, and that have been implemented to support the people. They thought that it is a sustainable way. They gave 2 motors also, two diesel, one diesel generator also they have given, so that they thought that if one is having some problem, the second also can help them. Okay, fine. The project was 5 years. People were supplying and they were getting fantastic drinking water, because it's very difficult to get drinking water. And what happened after 5 years, when the people they left, gone. Because nobody is ready to pay some money, because they have to pay some money to manage and maintain. If any repair comes, they have to maintain. So the infrastructure was not developed. So they requested me, can you help us such a way that a solar pumping system can be utilized or not? So this is not only one case. There are thousands of cases. Many projects were implemented in this world, every country, but many of them, that particular period, it is working, and after that, there is no sustainability in the project. So now what happens, particularly in the UN system, one of the UN system is one of the biggest agencies, you know, the United Nations. What they try to do is that initially they used to give funds for the project. But nowadays, they don't give any funds. What they try to do is that even if they want to fund a project, they try to work with the ministry. For an example, a ministry which is having a scheme. For an example, I am working for MSME ministry. We have a scheme called Aspire, which is trying to support the incubation. Okay? So if you have a scheme, the United Nations, I'm giving an example only, they give some funds for the scheme and they try to support them. So that even if they leave also, the scheme can continue. So this is what we call it as sustainability. So the rural development took some sort of a new version called sustainable rural development. And it is a very simple thing. It is a holistic approach where daily basis needs of rural population must be covered by reliable public utilities combined with technical, socio-economic, and environmental conditions. Right. There are many issues are there. I don't want to go very deep into it. So there are poverty and marginalized communities, feminine and subsistence, land degradation, deforestation, lack of basic utilities. Like that, so many issues were discussed in this. And also, the rural population access to basic public utilities. For example, soil, water, air, and what is happening here. There are a lot of schemes have been developed, and also improvement have been developed, like toilet facilities, anaerobic digestion, and so many schemes and progress is going on. And lastly, I wanted to tell you here, maybe there are some targets are also fixed by the government. People are working towards them. But the last SDGs. What is the SDG? Sustainable Development Goals. But before that, there was one more goal was there. That is called MDG, Millennium Development Goal. The Millennium Development Goal, there are only 7 that goals were there, and it had some lacunas. It was not covering many different areas. Actually, the Millennium Development Goal target was by 2020. They wanted to cover up. They wanted to improve everything, and they found that there were some problems were there. As a result, in 2016, they revised it and then they brought this concept of sustainable development goals. And out of that sustainable development goals, first 6 are social related goals. And from 7 to 12, sustainable goals, there are 17 actually. Okay? And the 7 to 12 related to economic affairs like that. And from 13 to 15 related to environment, and the 16 is related to what you call means of implementation. Now let me come to MSME sector straight away. Basically, we are from MSME ministry, and our institute. I am going to just tell about the institute, and this is funded by MSME ministry. So, and we are very much focusing towards MSME only. We are not going, or as I told you, we are not diverting anywhere else. We are just focusing only MSME. Right? MSME means, what is MSME? MSME is micro, small, medium enterprises. In India, it is called MSME. Other part of the world, it is called SME, small, medium enterprises. And India, why they are again bifurcating this small industry into micro? Because if you say that among the small scale industries, micro industries are having a very big percentage. And the people wanted to, and the government wanted to improve them. As a result, they wanted to give some sort of special benefits for micro industry. As a result, small is divided into micro. Micro, small, medium enterprises. Right, fine. How do you classify SME or MSME? It differs. It differs from country to country. It is not only for India. Even if you take America, SMEs are there. Okay, how do they classify? Either they classify according to the capital or according to the people who are working. Like that. But in our case, in India, we are classifying according to the capital. Previously, it was only 25 lakhs. Very recently, it was changed to 15 lakhs. Okay, so like that, this is the classification. Micro, small, and medium prices. And micro has many advantages. As I told you, some special benefits are given for micro industry. For example, particularly a woman from rural area. And I am very, very clear. We are very clear. We are not focusing big industries. There are a lot of researches going on. As Sar was talking about so many technologies, they are needed for India. There is no doubt about it. At the meantime, we are also supposed to focus on the small scale industry. And if you see the history of the independence, it's very interesting. How it is interesting, if you see that Gandhi was talking about a lot about small scale industry. In the meantime, Jawaharlal Nehru ji came and he was also focusing on so many things. He developed so many things, IITs and big industries, so many things. So both were considered in India. And interestingly, as a small scale industry is concerned, a commission was formed called Guardian Village Industries Commission. And many of them, they don't know the value or the powers of commission. There are many commissions. What are the commissions? Finance Commission, Finance Planning Commission was there, UGC was there, University Grants Commission was there, Election Commission was there. So many commissions were there. And they are not totally governed under any ministry. They are totally governed by the parliament. They have more powers. So at that stage, they thought that India should have more autonomous in developing the small scale industries. So they formed the Guardian Village Industries Commission actually. But we are under MSME to just to govern. But it is having lot of freedom. Even though lot of freedom was given, this cannot compete with these big industries because their growth is much faster. Okay, but now the government is trying to give much more importance for small scale industries. Right. What are the challenges faced by small industries? The main thing is that the small industries, they don't have much research facilities. If you take one small guy here, a guy who is having a small restaurant, do you think that does he have, or small, what you call a cobbler, do you think that he has some research research center for his improvement of his what you call production of the chappals or something? They don't have much facility. Big industry like Reliance, you see that they have totally a personal research laboratory. So like that, big industries are having their research facilities and so on, but the small industries, they don't have any facility. As a result, our institute was also formed. Okay, now if you see that there are a lot of constraints here. What are the constraints? Adequate banking finance. Finance is a big problem. If you take a small businessman, if he goes to the bank and if he asks for a loan, they don't give. They want this surety, that surety, so many things. Similarly, but big companies, they are getting, some or other, they are getting some funds. But the small business community, they are really suffering bank finance. And also their capital, limited capital and knowledge. And also non-availability of sustainable technology. They don't get technologies enough. Everybody is working on big technology, but nobody is bothered about the technologies which are needed for the smaller group. Okay, right. And the low production capacity, inefficient marketing strategy. There will be good, what you call geo-related, geo-mobile. If you take that, how much advertisement they are giving, how much publicity they are giving. Similarly, identification of new markets. That is also very difficult if he wants to export. It is very difficult for him to explore the new market. Okay, right. Constraints of modernization and expansion. Modernization is very difficult. Why? If he purchases a machine and he is using that machine for production of certain things, and if he wanted to improvise it, as you know that the technology is coming up very continuously. If you wanted to modernize it, it is going to be further investment. So he thinks many times whether to invest or not. So with the available things they are going. As a result, they are having a lot of other problems. And non-availability of highly skilled labor, affordable cost. Cost is very important. Labor cost is very important. In an industry, if you see that, if you are working on that, labor cost plays a very big role. And these days, you know what is happening? I wanted to give you an example. In Tamil Nadu, because I am from Tamil Nadu, I take the example from Tamil Nadu. People are talking about unemployment problems. But there are plenty of employment availability there. But people are not ready to come. In which sector? Agriculture sector. Those days, people used to come and work. But nobody is ready to come and work these days. So one sector, there is a huge employment opportunities there. Another side, we don't have employment. And also very sad also, sometimes when I talk to my friends and my relatives, they are also telling, and sometimes the engineering students, even they cannot get job for 5,000 rupees. That is the reality. And at the meantime, some skilled labor, they are getting much better job. That if I ask one of my cousin was telling me, when I asked him, he was telling me that the engineering students, they want white collar job and they are not ready to work. But for me, the guy from with the diploma, he that takes less salary, but he wants more. Another interesting thing is that if you go to Tamil Nadu, into a small village, you can see somebody from Jharkhand or Bihar or from Calcutta or Madhya Pradesh. Very interesting. See, migration takes place because they have cheap labor. Labor cost is playing a very big role in industries. Okay, right. And follow up with various government agencies to solve the problem. And advantages of rural industrialization. What is it? Small and cottage industries require low capital investment. Anybody can start. We need not think about investing crores of rupees. With some 10,000 rupees or 1 lakh rupees, you can start some industry. We are not targeting people to become Adani or Ambani. We are not expecting that you have to be a multi-millionaire. We are targeting that at least you should have some employment. Why we are, first of all, I wanted to tell you that why we are very much interested in this MSME sector. The reason behind is that if you see the GDP, almost 60 to 70% of the GDP is coming from these small scale industries. And also, employment is concerned, whether direct or indirect, it doesn't matter. 60 to 70% of employment is lying in this sector. As a result, government is thinking that India has one big, huge advantage. What is an advantage? Particularly the younger generation population is very high in India. And how can they manage if everybody wants a government job? It is not possible. It is very difficult. So at least you try to promote them, help them to get some sort of small scale industries. So lot of new startups and other things are encouraged. Okay, so it is your your wish. You should also try to get into some new system instead of looking for jobs somewhere else. Why not you try yourself? I don't say that you should take maybe 1 lakh rupee, 2 lakh rupee immediately as an income. At least you start. Maybe in a time of 4 or 5 years, you may be getting good business. Okay, like so. This is very important. And rural industries can take advantage of local resources. That is very important. Local resources in the sense what happened, for example, this area, particularly this Vidarbha region, is producing lot of cotton. 1/3 of the cotton production is from Vidarbha region. Tool, soya, so many good resources are here. So we try to value add that products such a way that you can start some industry based on that locally available material. Otherwise, many problems are there. What happened? People they used to bring a lot of resources from China. So transportation cost is very high. Sometimes if you are depending upon somebody else, they dictate terms on you. Okay, so that is another advantage for rural industrialization. By catering local demand and avoiding transaction cost. For example, you produce it and try to sell locally, whatever possible. So that is a very good thing, and you are reducing a lot of transportation cost. I wanted to tell one simple example. I studied in Germany. That time, what happened? We used to get any banana where they have sun. Sun maybe a few months only. But the banana, if you see that very fantastic quality, we used to get it. Where they come from? All comes from Latin America. So from South America, Colombia, and so many other different countries they used to come. Very recently, I went to Germany, and people were talking about that. They try to consume only the locally available fruits. Their idea is something different because they are thinking environmentally. They say that when I bring this banana from Colombia, see the transportation cost and then cold storage cost. So many things are there, cost as well as environmental problem. Considering all those things, they started now thinking that let us try to consume locally available fruits first. And later we think of the fruits which are brought from abroad. So transportation cost is very important. Okay? Right. And also employment generation. Finally, this is very important, particularly young engineers like you. I think most of them are computer science here, but anyway, this doesn't matter. You can also start anything. It's not necessary that the computer engineer should do only write software. You can start some other business. Okay? So there is no problem at all. And organization difficulties, technology gap, maybe I can go quickly. And promoting managerial and entrepreneurial skills in rural entrepreneurs, and the credit gaps and the nature of employment. And strategies, formulation of rural industrial policy, that is important. It is nothing to do with us, but it's the government who is doing it. Reversal of trend towards decentralization. Decentralization is very important. Okay, if you are going towards a centralized system, it's very difficult. Gandhiji told that one. Instead of producing in masses, it should be produced by masses, so that at least the money or the income should be distributed. Instead of having 3 times hungry, at least they can get 1 time food. That is good enough. That is a good development. Okay, so right way. And multiplicity of technologies and reservation of industries. Now, let us come to the background. Something I am going to hereafter mostly it is pictorial. Don't worry about it. So, industrial revolution. Industrial revolution is the one. Maybe many of you are scientists, and the scientists are here. And we need industries. Without industry, we cannot develop. Any country's development is depending upon the industries and so on. Okay? So if you go towards industrialization, and it created another problem. What problem? Unemployment problem. Initially, it was giving a lot of employment. At some point of time, it started automation started going on, and due to automation, a lot of unemployment also started. And does it mean that we can leave industrialization? No, should not be there. You need industrialization also. At the meantime, you should also generate your employment. So what we started thinking is that we try to see that whether Gandhian approach is good or not. So basically, we are from there. Okay, we thought that what Gandhiji, as I just now I told you, instead of produced in masses, it should be produced by masses. Instead of one company is producing so much, 1,000 people can produce there. And it is very interesting also. See that one of the place, maybe many of them are from Bangalore, you must be knowing Hosur. Okay, you know Hosur. Hosur, 40, 50 years before, how it was. It was a dry land. Nothing was there. Now, Hosur is a very highly industrial area. And you see that so many small-scale industries which are supporting the big industry. For example, TVS and Titan and Ashok Leyland, these are the big industries they came. Because of government policy, government gave some subsidy, they attracted the big industry. When they came over there, a lot of small business started, some subsidiary industries have started. As a result, today, Hosur is very important than Bangalore. Because so many industries have come. So like that, we are working on small scale industries. So Gandhiji told them, try to bring that whatever facility people are getting in the urban area, try to bring it to the rural area. So people are not going to migrate. Migration takes place. What is the problem? When people, you take Mumbai, you are from here only Maharashtra, you take Mumbai, in a day 10 lakh people are coming every day for job. And what is that? Very heavily crowded. Okay, crowd, not only crowd. Their stay, their sanitation, their water problem, energy problem. So many problems started. So to stop many of the things, Gandhiji was trying to say that better you go for a small scale industries. We encourage it. And this is what we are trying to do is, there is a new era of industrialization. What we say is that industrialization is needed, but you try to make sure that it does not harm the environment. Because industrialization in the previous periods, what happened, it created a lot of environmental problems. So try to stop that and try to work accordingly. And now let me come to my institute. As you know that we are not very far, maybe some 5 kilometers we are in the city of, inside the city of Wardha. And our institute is very old actually. Gandhiji was in our institute from 1934 to 36, and it was established by Gandhi. Actually, that place was donated by Bajaj because it was a farmhouse of Jamnalal Bajaj, and you know very well that Bajaj used to be the adopted son, like a fifth son of Gandhiji. So when he came and stayed in our place. And 2 years he was there, and he got the idea or the concept of village industries or cottage industries or rural industries, whatever you mean. Okay, that the concept started from there in the name of All India Village Industries Association. And in 1956-57, that period, as I told you, Khadi and Village Industries Commission was started. Government decided to make it as a commission, and Khadi and Village Industries started, and their headquarters was moved to Mumbai. So our institute was called as Jamnalal Bajaj Central Research Institute. Okay, and they were catering some scientific research for the KVIC, Khadi and Village Industries Commission. And in 2000, what happened? Almost this institute was supposed to be closed because of they were not very active. So many things were there. The government decided that better let us close it. But one of the chairman of Khadi and Village Industries Commission that time, he was an IIT professor and called Meghe Sharma. And what he did is that why to close such a historic place? So he gave this as a project to IIT Delhi in 2000. And IIT took this institute and they revamped everything, and then they recommended the ministry that it should be separated from KVIC and it should be given an autonomous body, autonomous status. And from 2008, this is called Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization, and we are working directly under MSME ministry. Okay. Now, what is our mission? As I told you, already I have told all these things. We are very much targeting towards MSME sector. And rural industrialization, employment generation, this is our main focus. And we are trying to do this with the 5 major areas. What are the main five things? Actually, main 5 things is that innovation, science and technology intervention, and upgrading the technology, okay, improving the quality of the material, that is called improving the quality, and increasing the productivity, and HR, human resource development. And we are not giving training on so many products. No, we are not giving training on other related products, but whatever product or process or the machinery what we are developing, we are giving training on them. Because our ministry has so many other institutions like NIMSMI at Hyderabad, and in the east, northeast, there is one entrepreneurship institution, and in Delhi, so many other institutions are there. They are giving training, but we are not focusing towards all those things. We are very much focusing towards only the product process, whatever we are developing. We have 6 departments. One is taking care of khadi and textile. Another one is bioprocessing. Another one is chemical industries, rural craft and engineering. These are the major 4 areas as far as cottage industry or village industries are concerned. And khadi. Now everybody talks about khadi. I think this is a very interesting term now. After the new government is trying to help khadi. Khadi is an interesting fabric. Many people, I don't know that. How many of you know the meaning of khadi? You know many things. Khadi, handloom, textile. All of them are same. Am I right? All of them are meaning the cloth. But why they are calling it in different names? Do you have any idea? No. Khadi means hand spun and hand woven. Hand spun, hand woven is called khadi. And handloom means hand woven only. That is handloom. Textile, both are done by machinery. So this is the difference between khadi, handloom and textile. So no institution is taking care of khadi. Khadi has become a very expensive one because it's very labor intensive. That is one of the reasons Gandhiji was insisting that khadi should be taken care and everybody should wear khadi. Apart from this, insisting, because he was thinking that if everybody started wearing khadi, employment is going to be increased. That is the main idea behind it. But khadi has become very expensive because it has its own problem. What type of problem? If I wear a khadi shirt, the next day I cannot wear because it does not have the stiffness. Am I right? It does not have the stiffness. Either you have to put the starch and then you have to use it. Maybe even if you put the starch to not more than 2 days. And another important thing is that khadi is too expensive and life is very less. Maybe 1 year or 2 years. So these are the problems. But if you see that environmentally, that is the best cloth I have seen. If you see that in summer, if you wear khadi, I'm not joking. You try. What is the problem? So you are spending a lot of money in Zomato, pizza, so many places you are wasting your money, particularly the younger generation. At least you try to buy one khadi shirt or khadi kapada, something. You try to wear it, and you will feel that In particularly in summer, if you put that body cloth gives you the very comfort. It's very comfortable. Similarly, the same cloth you try to use it in winter. It is also it protects you from the cold. So khadi is a very special product, but it has some problem. It is true, but we are trying to support. We are trying to help the technology. How this productivity, the quality, the strength of yarn can be increased. That is what we are doing in our department. And also how to increase the productivity, how to bring the cost of that. That is what we are working on. So that department is taking care of that. And bioprocessing department, as I told you, agriculture there are plenty of products, and people are not working on value addition. The same thing, but at least what very recently I come to know that the coconut price has come down. One of the village nearby my place, there is a place called Solavandan. You know that Dr. Subramania Swami, his native place. They were in the bank of Meghe river, and there are plenty of coconut. And what happened? They started value adding it. They take the coconut and they extract the milk and they make it into powder, and also they try to extract oil. So a lot of value addition has been given. As a result, the farmers are getting more money through the cluster formation. So like that, bioprocessing is also working a lot, and they are also working on many other products. Maybe I will go through people. And the chemical industries, that is also important, like soap, shampoos, at small scale what you can produce it. And very recently we are also working in a very important problem. What the problem is, actually we visited, I have a friend at Karnataka and Mysore. Karnataka has a board, biodiesel board. I think you must be doing. So biodiesel board, every district they have a pilot project now. And they are producing a lot of biodiesel. And as a byproduct, they are getting glycerin. And this glycerin cannot be used because it is not purified form. And just they don't know that what to do. So we are extracting that, purifying that glycerin. That is one product. So that is one. Another one is that we are also involved in one of the products, that banana fiber related problems. Because we had a discussion with the chief conservator of forest, and he requested us, because Tripura has plenty of banana and they don't know what to do with the banana fat, banana fiber. And now we are working and we have developed some products also. So like that, the rural chemical industries department is working on that. And the craft department, you know that many of the crafts come from villages only. They are lacking of design and their quality is not improved. And if you see that many of they are very interesting, but the problem is that there may be they have the very nice shape, but it may need some sort of a small polishing to get a better product, a better look. So like that, there are many things are there. So the rural craft and engineering is taking care of their design and the technology and other things. And energy, this is my department, I am heading the department. And energy, without energy, no industry. Second, one third of the production cost is depending upon the energy. So what we are doing is that in my department, we are trying to support the small scale industries by resolving the energy problem. What I am doing is that mainly, overall in general, we are trying to reduce the power consumption. That is very important. People are working, solar cell, people are working on solar cell, increasing the efficiency. Lot of millions of dollars is invested in that. If you see that new product, maybe if you increase, even if you do lot of research, the percentage of efficiency, raising efficiency is very less. So this is very simple logic. Very simple finance from home. What is the problem? You are all students. You are getting 1,000 rupees from your father. For what? For expenditure. If you spend 1,000 rupees and if you get 1,000 rupees, it is balanced. No problem at all. In 1 month, maybe you are going with some of your friends for a birthday party. Yeah. So it goes very quickly like that. So 6 department. Another one is management and systems department. And we are working, as I told you, that the 5 different things. And we are working on this one, solar garment concept. We developed the chapter and it runs with solar power and it will increase the income of the public, particularly the women. And in India, 6 lakh strong chakras are there and it is doing a lot of things. And also it has been taken to field trial in 2009. It is nothing but a decentralized textile mill. And this is the charka. We are trying to improve it, the the product. And we have a new concept called solar garment concept, because we run this yarn spinning through solar power, and also the looms also run with solar power, and this winding and sewing. So a concept is totally done. So the whole process can be done with solar power. The interesting thing is that this loom is a conventional loom, but this takes 150 watts of power. Same thing with the power loom. We tried also. Maybe next I will show you that. This is a power loom. Normally it takes 400 watts of power, and we are running it with 250 watts of power. And it was tested in the Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is having almost 70% of loom in India, and we tried it there, and it was working very well. But only thing is that investment is a problem, and these clusters have been developed in many places in India, and very sometime before, some 5 years before, our former minister, what he did is that he wanted us to implement some 200 charkas in Bihar, and we implemented solar charkas. And another one interesting thing happened that this is in Amaravati, in 20 villages we have done. And as a result, what has happened, people when they take some money, this is very important. People like, they take the technology. If they don't like, they try to skip the technology. That is very true. So we are trying to find out the need of the public, and we are trying to support it. They gave only one chakra per family. What happened? Their income, Bihar is very poor. If they get 100 rupees, it's a big money for them. And when they got 200 rupees, they called our honorable Prime Minister and they asked for more charkas. As a result, we started talking about this in the Man Ki Baat. And very sad part in India, it's really to say, it's very sad. You need publicity, you need support, you need some sort of a network. Then only you can transfer the technology. The same solar charka, I was taking it, carrying it to every place, trying to show the technology. People are not ready to accept it. People are not ready to understand. But when it was told in Man Ki Baat, you won't believe it. The media went there, they took 2 hours coverage. But they were not ready to give 5-second coverage when I was doing that. There was a very pathetic part of this. And other areas also we are working at, and all of them are energy efficient system. This is a grading machine, and there is this is a powdery LED light also. We are giving training in LED lights, and also the other machineries we have developed. This is an evaporative cooler which was requested by Ministry of Agriculture because for perishables they had some problem, and also this grading, simple grading one. This is nothing. It's very maybe 5,000-6,000 rupees only. A small farmer can very easily afford. And we are also working on helping the artisans, and packaging systems also we have developed, and also liquid filling machines. There are plenty of, and also importantly, we downsize the technology. That is also important. And some very interesting thing like that warping machine we are trying to run through solar power, and some dryer and agarbatti dryer also we have developed. And we are working on this pop-up machine, that is Rajigala pop-up machine. It's totally a new machine. Okay, we have some good innovator. I'm not an innovator, but I have a colleague who is an innovator, and he develops a lot of machines. But we are doing a lot of things with that. And we are also giving, this is a very old one, and the biomass also we have developed. And this kiln is also important. It's an energy efficient kiln, and it has been implemented all over India, particularly for the rural artisans. And we are also working with the prisons, and we gave training to the prisoners, and particularly LED light assembly. And the Amaravati prison, they are doing very well. Almost 1 crore rupees of what you call business they are doing now. And we have given training in Amaravati, Chandrapur, Wardha, Nagpur, and all those places. And now we are taking up a technology that is wood processing machines. All wood processing machines run with solar power. It is under field trial at Lake. And let me go to the Bali department. Already I have told you. So they are also working on natural dyes actually, and the standardization of natural dye they are doing very important. Many people are using natural dye, but the standardization is not taking place. And they have done standardization for some 40 shades. And this is a muslin chakra, and also they have a design also. We develop a lot of designs and put it for free of cost for Khadi institutions all over India. And as I told you that bio department is working on many areas like what you call probiotic honey and amino acid production, and also Panchagavya products, and this is some training they are giving and value addition, and the herbs also, herbal also they are working. I think they have some sort of collaboration with your institute, and they are working with that. And these are very different category of products developed, trainings are given, and transfer of technology. And the chemical department also they doing the same thing. As I told you that small scale production cost, like for example this phenol production cost is only 16 rupees, but in the market 60 rupees. Okay, so black phenol and so many other products have been developed, and this is some anticondoms have been created, and mosquito repellent coil, and some other neat quality testing is also going on. Rural craft engineering, mainly they are doing consultancy training program, and these are the designs given by them. And many artisans from different parts of India they used to come and get training, and they are also developing machines related to the artisans, plunger, mixer, like that. And this is a new area. People are working at this terracotta products, and in that terracotta product now they are working on microwavable terracotta products. And MMS department, as I told you, that they are trying to support the marketing through their web portal. One of the web portal is www.ruralart.com, and another one is Udhyami's.com, and it is that. Sorry, these are the people we are there, and thank you very much.
Time is very less. For you, 1 day required. So, I request Raju sir to present it.
Thank you so much, sir. I request Raju sir to please take Dr. Kumar.
Raju, center mein jo. So that I answer this. Yeah, please.
From your way.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. The next speaker for the session will present a talk on digital forces shaping direction in healthcare, and it is by Dr. Arvind Kumar, Center Head, Tata Consultancy Services. He is creating values in progressive management lines in delivery functions, pre-sales, sales, people management, project management, program management. He is responsible for managing large engagements, including seeding, growth and sustainable strategy and tactical planning, demand forecasting, to just name few. He has 16 years of international experience with customers in USA, UK, Japan, Netherlands, South America, Uganda, and again India. He served in industries like high-tech, banking, healthcare, supply chain, and higher education. His specialties include team building, strategy conception to implementation. I request Dr. Arvind Kumar to please move for the next.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon once again. So no presentation, no PP. Oh, that's good. And first of all, I'd like to thank the institute, Datta Meghe Institute of Higher Education, into inviting me here to this particular institute. And this is the second time I'm coming to Wardha. The first time, couple of weeks, I was there in Bajaj Institute of Technology. They had the graduation ceremony and they had invited me in that particular forum. Okay. And I'm really pleased because we always had heard about Sevagram, Khadi, heard from Dr. Ravi just now, right? But never got an opportunity myself to actually visit Wardha here. And really thanks Dr. Rupesh for inviting me for this particular session. What I'm going to tell you is not just about the technology. Dr. Pal mentioned a lot of technologies, disruptive technologies. We heard about certain uses, the medical uses as well, from Dr. Anil, Dr. Ravi, and everyone, right?
Sorry, I disturbed you.
So what I was mentioning about that since morning, more than you, I also learned from the various speakers. Okay, what I'm going to tell you is my own experiences, and I would like to start with when the 2 years back, the dark pandemic that has started. Right, we have a campus in Mihar, TCS Nagpur. At that point of a time, we had around 5,500 associates. Today, in Mihar, we have 9,000 associates, right? 9,000 engineers who are working from Nagpur, Mihar. But I will tell you that when the pandemic struck us, all the people and the campus that was vibrant, that completely disappeared. And I was the only person, along with the guards and probably some of the IT staff, who were enabling all the engineers back at their home with the IT infrastructure. So during one such day, I got a call from one of my colleagues in Nagpur. He is an angel investor. He supports a lot of startup. And he said that, Arvind, I would like to recommend one thing for you and as well as for your engineers. Today, all your engineers are working from home. Definitely, they are not getting what they were getting in the office in terms of the office infrastructure, right? Sitting space, the desk space, and all of those that we as a Tata Group are proud of providing all the amenities to the engineers. So there is a startup in Nagpur that deals with the physiotherapy. Yeah, there is a startup in Nagpur. There is a startup in Nagpur that it deals with the physiotherapy. I was just wondering what exactly he is trying to convey to me and what is offering to me, right? And he said that why don't you experiment this physiotherapy? Typically, when you talk about a physiotherapy, you go to the physiotherapist when something has happened, right? Some accident has happened, or there is certain pains in the body, and then you are going to have that recovery process with the help of the physiotherapy. I said, yes, why me? Okay, no, you should do that because they offer a lot of preventive physiotherapy. Okay, experiment that. Okay. And I said, okay, I have those 3:30 to 4:30, that's an available time period, and I can see a demo. And that's when I got a call from a young entrepreneur who is from Nagpur that, sir, I got your contact from so and so, and I'd like to start a demo. And that's when I saw the power of digital bridging the gap between have and have not, right? Because all of us, including the education, we went behind what? WebEx, Zoom, Microsoft Team, a lot of such kind of things, right? And there was a doctor, senior physiotherapist, and she asked me to perform certain tests, right? in my office, I was doing all those sit down, stand up, and all of those different kind of a tests that she requested me to do that. And at the end of that particular exercise, she said that your right is weaker than the left. Doctor, we accept because we ourselves don't know much, right? But yes, that I was impressed with the way she was explaining it. And then she said that why don't we have this session every other day? Because we would like her. Then I said, why don't you, what is the charge, right? Because if she is offering certain services, then I would like to pay for that. And she said, will not actually charge that. Then I cannot actually take that services. But when I was talking to Mr. So-and-so, he said that Arvind sir will help you to guide because that's a startup. And how to run a business and how to run a corporate, how to scale up, okay? Then, and here goes the story. So, Dr. C had an established 3 setup in Nagpur. That was a physiotherapy setup, right? But when the pandemic hit, what happens? People were not going. They were not going to the physiotherapy clinic. The business, which was buzzing with 100 patients in a day, that came to a naught, 0. And can you imagine the frustration of the people who were always engaged, probably 24 hours, thinking about how to relieve the pain of the patient, and there is no patient at all in the clinic, right? Just look at the pain. And that's when the doctor's mom's son, who is an engineer, who was an engineer from Pilani, and he had a job, good job, and he came, mom, I'm coming to Nagpur. Okay? And that particular guy, and he joined hands with the mom, and they created an online version of physiotherapy clinic. Okay? Online version of physiotherapy clinic. And that's when the Your Physio, I just take the name, Your Physio came into existence.
I'm following it. I'm one of the patients of that one.
Aha. See,
2 days a week I do.
2 days a week, yeah.
I know
So,
about that.
yes, and that's when the Your Physio came into existence. And we had those Zoom sessions. Initially, what I thought that we cannot actually do all such kind of physiotherapy sessions in a remote fashion. It was as effective as it was going to the clinic, right? I was there at my office and just used to spend that 45 minutes an hour, and using those digital platform that we call as a Zoom, we were doing those physiotherapy sessions. And definitely, whatever that she had diagnosed in the beginning, that right versus left, etc., in terms of postures, in terms of fitness, despite the fact that I was doing the yoga and walking and jogging, etc., I saw a lot of improvement, right? What I'm saying is that that's what the digital platform gives, that kind of an enablement between the two set of the people, where there is an access and there where there is no such kind of an availability, right? And that's the power, and that is the power. And when the two set of the people, the engineers and doctors, come together, they create a new set of an organizations, right? Probably that is what is the theme of this particular conference. I'll just tell you that yes, we had those sessions that, for example, some of the question came that, sir, now we are starting and we are having these particular things. Now, when I am talking to persons in Tamil Nadu, that particular guy, because the patient is saying that I want to do a puja sitting on the floor, not sitting on the chair. That's a use case. That's a problem statement. And she has to address that particular problem statement. Sitting remotely, doing all whatever that she used to do in the clinic, using Zoom platform. Right? That's a problem statement. That is a problem statement. And how did he do that? Yes, she did it, but she had those difficulties. I said that when you are into the digital world and you are using the digital platform, what stops you to hire a physiotherapist from Tamil Nadu itself? Right? And then she started hiring. There was a lot of hesitations, as usually it happens, because she is hardcore Nagpurian. She was all used to having all the people in Nagpur, right? And she had to hire an individual, an expert in Tamil Nadu, and the pain typically go through that, right, in terms of the communication, etc. But that was a worth it. And then slowly and slowly, today she had or they had an offices not just in only in India but abroad as well. Lot of patients today are actually enrolling into the your physio from the abroad, Singapore or US and all. Just look at the power of that particular digital platform versus the traditional knowledge that she had there. And sir, as Dr. Pal said that he is also a beneficiary sitting from Bangalore, right? Right. So that's a power. And recently, what happened that they came to me again and said that we have developed an AI engine physiotherapy. Just look at traditionally physiotherapy. You say that yes, you go to there, they will administer certain exercises with the help of some of the tools, etc. Right? But what is the role of AI in physiotherapy? What is the role of an AI in physiotherapy? And she wanted an audience from the TCSers in our multi-purpose hall. We have a beautiful multi-purpose hall in TCS Mihan campus. And she said that can we address those associates? Okay. And I have also not met you, even though I have been taking all whatever that you had to offer in these 9 months. Probably I will get an opportunity to meet you as well, doctor. Okay. And they came and they wanted to do a beta testing of that particular engine. Okay. Beta testing of that particular engine. So they came out with a machine. And if you just look at when many of you, probably a student of the artificial intelligence as well, right? Computer science or some of the things that you may be doing or want to do on the AI, right? When you look into the AI, what is it is? It's trying to mimic our behavior, right? A human behavior, right? We have an eyes through which we capture some of the patterns, some of the images that we call as an object, and then based on whatever that particular object is supposed to do, you put that particular intelligence into that algorithm, right? That's what is an AI, simple, right? And what they did that they used to capture that particular machine, capture the postures of an individual standing, both the sides, and when you're walking, right? Based on that, the algorithm, the AI engine, tells and predicts that whether you have a right postures, your right side versus the left side, which one is weak or something, right? That is the power of AI. That is the power of AI, right? If you just look at the most complex item on this particular planet Earth is this human body that has been created by that supreme God, right? And if you are able to understand this human anatomy, then in that case, you would be able to solve many of the problems because who's the consumers of all whatever that is coming in the world through the technology? It is we as a human being, right? So we need to understand how this human anatomy is working, right? And with that particular AI engine, in that particular 45 minutes an hour of the sessions, she was able to cover around 200 of the TCS associates, probably 200 or 300 associates who were there in that particular hall. And she was able to give the result on the WhatsApp that is what is your index of the fitness, right? So what I'm saying is that look around and leverage whatever that is available to you in this particular vicinity, in this Datta Meghe Institute of Engineering and Research, right, or higher education and research, which consists of certain medical schools or medical sciences schools, and as well as what you are. Probably I'm seeing all blue dresses here, so I'm assuming that all are engineers here in this particular hall. right? Because unless and until I see that white coat, so then I don't feel that there is a medical sciences students here, right? I was asking Rijwan, Dr. Rijwan, that yes, are there medical sciences students as well in this?
There was there, after they left.
No problem. So whatever that you are there, so I'm just trying to address that. Yeah? So how many of you are really the friends of those who wear those white dress? That's a question. That is a question. Because today, when you talk about in AI, most of the algorithms, most of those equation related, mathematical related, that is already done. That is done by Microsoft. That is done by Google. That is done by a lot of technology companies, right? TensorFlow to Python, R, etc., etc. There's all libraries which is there. What essentially, as an AI student, that you have to do is that look around, see the use cases which have been told by Dr. Anil, Dr. Ravi, or Dr. Paul, or so many speakers that you might have got an opportunity to hear yesterday as well, right? And even if not, then that is just cross the roads, shake hands with those students who have come in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year of the medical sciences and allied healthcare services. Become a friends of that. Learn from them. What are the difficulties they are facing? Or what are the difficulties their patients are facing? For example, when you talk about a dental, right? Can there be certain AI solutions for dental diagnostics? Oral hygiene is so important. For example, all of us, I'm pretty sure you may be seeing that at your home as well. Once the person crosses 50, and once the person crosses 50, there are a couple of things that comes automatically, right? Blood pressure, hypertension, eh? And it's so difficult because we feel that, for example, I was also trying to find out that why did I get the BP? I was having a healthy lifestyle, yoga, this, that, etc. But still I have a BP, right? Why? Can that question be discovered, diagnosed, found out with the help of whatever that you study as a topic of the computer science and engineering, as a topic of the data science, as a topic of the artificial intelligence? Is it possible to create those affordable diagnostic mechanisms for the people who are actually having a blood pressure, right? Yes, even blood pressures today, the monitors, they are becoming intelligent, right? There are sensors there, Bluetooth, BP machines are there, and they probably are feeding all the data to the fitness app, but probably there are much more required there, right? Can you look into those kind of use cases? I'm pretty sure some of your family members should have gone through the cataract surgery as well. And if you go to the modern eye hospital and surgery, the doctors are just sitting next to the patient. They're not really doing anything to the patient. Have you heard about that? They are not doing anything to the patient. There is a robot, the software and the hardware robots. They are doing whatever that is required for that cataract surgery, right? So those use cases are there. But what about the glaucoma? Glaucoma is a costly test. Those perimeter tests that happens, it's a machine, right? At the end of the day, it's a machine. Can't we actually create those AI-based or some of the tools which is affordable, which is available to the individual as well? Because that needs to be tested. So prevention is better than the cure and the recovery, right? That's what I would like to say that. What essentially I am saying is that when you are living today, you are not living in isolation. What you are studying today, you are not studying in isolation, right? If you are doing that, then in that case, you cannot actually choose the path of the success. It is an interdisciplinary. It is a cross-functional. The mechanical engineer has to shake hands with the computer engineers, right? And medical fraternity has to join hands with the engineering fraternity. Really, that was the aim and the goal which I heard just now in that particular room your chairman had, right? Why actually he said that, can the engineering fraternity marry that medical fraternity, right? That's the aim. That's a goal. That's an intent, right? Can you actually take it further in terms of understanding the end customers of that medical fraternity, which is the patients, right? Or would be patient, right? I'll just give you an example, another example. For example, there is a tricycle for the kids. Every kids, as a kid, we drive those tricycles, right? But what happens when there is a blind kid and who wants to drive that tricycle? Would that standard tricycle function for the blind kid as well? He will not actually face all those challenges. If, for example, that tricycle has to be customized for the blind kids, what are the design changes that it has to go through for that tricycle? Can you think through and actually find out some of the innovations? Because that's again, it is a cross functional. There is a mechanical to actually medical and psychological and behavioral aspects that is all putting together to actually really come out with the solutions which would be required to develop a new kind of a tricycle. Because if you look at some of the persons was talking about SDG or ESG that we talk about environment, social and governance, and it says that can we have inclusion without exclusion? Every single entity, all humans who are there on this earth, can that be treated equally and equitably, right? If it is, that would be possible just not by saying or stating the goals and the vision and the mission on the paper, but actually we as an engineering community or a technical community or scientist community or researcher community coming forward and taking that goal and thinking from our own areas of an expertise and interest and taking it further, right? I gave you an example about this tricycle, right? I'm pretty sure there are many such use cases which is there. So what I'm saying is that when we look at today, the various organizations, like for example, TCS as an organization, right? We serve various kind of an industry. We serve retail, we life sciences, governance, high-tech industry, manufacturing, many such kind of industry that we serve. What we are seeing is that a lot of vertical industries are existing today. For example, in the medical fraternity, there is industry of medical insurance, there is an industry of pharmaceuticals, there is industry of medical diagnostics, tools and machineries, there is industry of hospitals, there is industry of physicians, all these doctors, right? And similar other healthcare services, etc. Is it possible for us to look into not vertically but horizontally? If you look at the horizontally, then in that case you will see a lot of white spaces between medical insurance to the physicians and this to that sector, right? If you look at horizontally and if you cut across all these vertical industry, you will see a lot of white spaces, a lot of use cases, a lot of areas of innovations. Probably those are the use cases you would like to take in as a student community, as an engineering community, and work on those use cases to serve the humanity, right? And if you do that, then in that case, the learning which you are actually acquiring in this particular college, different chapters and subjects, that would be meaningful. And that's what I was mentioning yesterday. I was leading one of the board of governance meeting in one of the engineering colleges in Nagpur, that project-based learning, right? Mechanical engineer should take up that, for example, those tricycle use case and see that yes, how actually it can be solved and what are those theoretical concepts that is going to be get used there. So once they take the use case and they study the theory as well, project-based learning. So all of this, because a lot of new streams in terms of an AI to data science to cyber securities, all those computer science, left side, right side, up side, bottom side, data is coming together. Most of the engineering colleges, 85%, I say that IT करण हो चुका है, right? Lot of engineering branches का IT करण हो चुका है. लेकिन it is going to create a lot of problems if we do not understand the meaning of this adoption of the idea. It's like we used to study this physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Computer science is going to be like that, right? It's not going to be a separate stream. And that's the reason these specialized streams are actually coming into computer science. So essentially, I am saying is that look around the use cases, create projects out of that use cases and the gaps, and work on those problem statements right from the first year to the fourth year. And when you actually pass out from this Datta Meghe Institute of Higher Education and Engineering, you should be able to come out with many products and the solutions which can serve the humanity and which can make you proud, which can make this institute proud. Thank you.
I request the director IQAC to come and.
I request to Kunal, please felicitate Dr. Arvind Kumar.
So last but not least, but 10 to 15 minutes. Sir. For this year.
Thank you, Sushma. Thank you, sir. The next talk is by Dr. Rizwan Ahmed, Chief Technology Officer, Datta Software, on use of AI in healthcare and interdisciplinary research, challenges and opportunities. Dr. Rizwan has close to 2 decades of professional experience as innovative hands-on technology executive with a proven track record of leading the design, development, and program management of high technology projects and solutions while continuously improving the processes and procedures. He has worked with MSMEs and cutting-edge technology startups in variety of industries as fintech, retail, healthcare, broadcast, hospitality, edtech, energy, to just name a few. He is a recipient of 25 plus global technology awards for his professional contributions. He has delivered more than 300 talks in India and abroad. I request Dr. Ahmed sir to please continue.
Thank you. Good afternoon all. I hope I'm audible. So I have a very difficult task. I'm holding you guys away from your lunch, and as I was requested by Dean sir, right, I have very limited time. So I prepared my presentation for an hour, but I'll try and ensure that I'm finishing it in maybe very minimal time as much as possible. So just a quick recap, right? There was a question Dr. Surendra Pal asked, and I'm going to repeat it just to see if the audience is engaged. Which is the most expensive commodity as on date? Which is the most expensive commodity if I talk about as on date? Any answers from the audience? Okay, someone said healthcare. Yes, health is well. Okay, but I'm looking for a better answer. Anyone in the group, and this is already covered, right? I'm just repeating the question. So if you're attentive, you know the answer already. Anyone? You can try. There are no negative marks here. You're not going to fail. That's what we need to keep trying in our life, right? Be interactive, give answers. People who are successful in life, they have tried, right? They've given some answers. There is no right or wrong answer. Healthcare was one answer, right? Please go ahead. Anyone in the room? Data, yes. I was looking for that answer. Thank you so much. So people say data is the new oil. And why they say that is, everything what we do around us is because of data. And that is what my talk is going to maybe focus around, artificial intelligence and data. There is a saying by an expert, AI is new electricity. Can we do this interaction without electricity in this room? It's impossible, right? Similarly, we are going into an era slowly, we heard through other speakers as we move forward, that we can't live without artificial intelligence. How many of you think that you are already using artificial intelligence? Just show up your hand. बाकी लोग यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं ऐसा लगता है आपको? You have a very wrong notion. If you are using a mobile phone, if you are surrounded by any electronic device, you are using artificial intelligence. You are being powered. Your life is being powered by artificial intelligence everywhere. So my talk today is going to focus around, especially around healthcare and interdisciplinary research, and I'm going to share my experiences around it. So very quickly, this is about me. I'm skipping this. There is my website. If you Google, you'll find most of my talks and other materials online. That's why I'm sharing this. So we are going through something called as fourth industrial revolution. In the first industrial revolution, we got free from animal power. We had engines and other things coming in. In second industrial revolution, we had maybe parallel manufacturing happening right through assembly lines. And third industrial revolution was around computer and internet. But this fourth industrial revolution is fundamentally very different. So there are two facets if I talk about here. One is extreme automation and connectivity. Everything what we are doing is going to see automation in everything. So if I'm talking to you right now, maybe there could be a day, right, based on my hand gesture, the presentation could be changed and things like that. So that is what is going to be something we'll see around us. And second is we'll have cyber physical systems. And I'm going to give you some examples which are going to be driven by AI robots as we go forward. So this is the right time as a student, I'll say, for all of you, wherein you can focus your maybe energy around doing research, innovation, building your own startups. As Dr. Arvind also talked about some ideas. You are in the most interesting times wherein you can transform your lives using artificial intelligence. So another aspect what I'm seeing is when I was a student like you, the amount of data what we had was very less. We had some databases, but if you look at now, as I said, the most precious commodity is data today. This is becoming exponential in nature. So if I ask you to multiply a 100-digit number with another 100-digit number, can anyone in the room attempt that? It's impossible, right? Unless you are a mathematical genius. But if you talk about power of machines and artificial intelligence, this number crunching could happen possibly in less than few milliseconds as well. And that's where we need to utilize artificial intelligence in making our lives better and assisting us in whatever we are trying to do. So all of you know the definition, so I'm going to skip through this, but we need to remember one thing is this AI technology has been something which has been in existence. I remember being a student like you almost 2 decades back. And my interface to AI was because of the subject what I had in my engineering. Same topic, artificial intelligence. But still we are seeing the maturity coming in last 5-6 years. And why? Because of that is, we are seeing access to storing massive data using cloud and other technologies which are out there. Second is we have internet penetration. We have seen other speakers talking about 4G, 5G and 6G technologies which were not there when I was a student like you. And faster computing, again using cloud, and we have access to GPUs and things like that. So I've shown some examples here which were not available. I came up with an idea when I was a student like you, something called as automatic programming. You tell the computer what your input is, and you tell your computer what should be your output. And you should be able to write a program which is going to process the input and give me the output. And this is something which I have developed in my 3rd year of engineering. How many of you think that when I participated at a national level competition and I presented this idea and competing against triple ITs and NITs and IIT students at that time, that this idea can stand in top 3? I was from a tier 2 college, not having any experience of presenting research people like that. Do you think I could make it to top 3 with that idea almost 20 years back using artificial intelligence, genetic algorithms, evolutionary algorithms using which I have developed this system? Any shows of hand? इसको लगता है कि हो सकता है या नहीं हो सकता? Okay. So thank you for showing that faith. So I was number 2, the first guy. He developed a very innovative robot. He was from IIT Bombay. So that was my first real experience developing something using artificial intelligence. Only one thing why I'm giving you this as an example, personal example, is I did not continue on that idea. I just presented the paper. I continued working on other areas, but I did not work on a patent or maybe probably create a product out of that. Imagine if I could have continued on that 20 years back, my name could be written at maybe a lot of places in terms of how maybe innovative that product could have been in solving a lot of things what we are seeing right now. So we have talked about interdisciplinary research, and AI is one such field wherein you need interdisciplinary research more, as you can see from this diagram, right? You need statistics, you need complexity theory, computer science, game theory. I can go on. And again, if you involve robotics, then you have mechatronics, electronics, mechanical engineering. So really, if you want to be successful in AI, you need to be having interdisciplinary approach. Without that, you cannot be successful. And one thing is, AI is about mimicking human intelligence. So as humans are able to maybe do certain things in a certain way, that okay, we can sense. So I can hear, I can speak, I can see and feel. Similarly, when we create AI-based systems, we should be able to do that thing. And for that, we have natural language processing, speech synthesis, speech recognition. So these are all vast fields, and there are many research problems you all can take up in that area. Similarly, we should be able to think, and that's where we develop knowledge representation. We use machine learning and deep learning, and that is where we develop most of our AI systems. And third is we should be able to interact, right, and maybe react. And that's where we develop cognitive systems, which are able to make decisions on its own. Like humans, you and me, we are able to make those decisions. So we use many forms of AI every day. As I said earlier, if you are using a chatbot on your phone, that is an example of AI. If you are using an email service like Gmail, it's already using machine learning and deep learning. Even when you are using a Google search, that is powered by some or the other way of artificial intelligence, which is out. So there are three branches. Some students are from CS, so I'm going to skip this in interest of time. But we need to remember all these three terms, right? They are kind of part of each other. So AI is the larger branch. Under that, we have machine learning, wherein we can improve the performance over time. It could learn. And deep learning is something which is subset of machine learning, wherein you can basically learn from vast amount of data. So whatever new innovation we are seeing, that is around deep learning, and that is where we are utilizing deep learning to solve many of the real world complex problems which are out there. Another thing, some of the people have confusion around what are the different types of AIs. So that's why maybe I include this example. So there are basically four categories of AI. First is you have a human in the loop. Second is there is no human involvement required. And then you have a hardware or maybe a specific system. And fourth category is you have adaptive systems. So in the first category, if I'm not having any human involvement, it's called as automated intelligence. Second is assisted intelligence. Third is augmented intelligence, and fourth is autonomous intelligence, which is the prime category of AI which we use outside. So very quickly, right? I mean, you must have heard about robotic process automation. In anything which as a human could be done, any repetitive task, we are able to automate that, and for that we use automated intelligence. Second category is we have assisted intelligence. So this is the next version wherein anything what you do, you take help of AI-driven systems so that you can do it better. So there are many examples of this. So one example is you have GPS navigation program. So if I need to go from here to Nagpur, so what I need to do is I could get maybe my navigation through Samruddhi Mahamarg or maybe the old highway, right? And that all data is coming based on how much traffic congestion you have. Maybe there could be an accident on the road and things like that. But the real decision which path to take is still on you. You need to make the decision which path you are going to take. Similarly, if I am doing a robotic surgery, I can instruct the robot, but robot is basically assisting the doctor. The main decision maker is the doctor. That is what is the example of assisted intelligence. Third is, which is maybe extension of assisted intelligence, is augmented intelligence. Basically, anything what as humans we can't do, we take help of AI around that and we try to do our job better. And that is where augmented intelligence based systems come into picture. So one good example of this is I have a lot of radiology friends, and they need to process a lot of MRI images, CT scan images, and identify what's the element. If it is a cancerous cell, still humans have 10% rate of error. But if you talk about using an AI-based system, classification of these images and finding out where the cancerous cells are, the accuracy is close to 99.99%. And that is where we are making use of augmented intelligence. And fourth is autonomous intelligence. That means we don't need any human involvement. The AI system is so self-sufficient that it can do everything on its own. So here is an example, as you can see. In a way, if I'm going for a driverless car, it can drive without my instruction. I need to just leave the destination and it's going to do everything. And why I'm giving these examples is, this is very, very critical. Whatever systems we are developing these days, they're called as specialized AI. They are not generalized AI. And everyone is trying to work towards generalized AI, wherein as humans we can do many things. Similarly, AI-based systems should be able to do many things that we go for. So some means I have told you, right? Data is the most precious commodity. So if you torture it, basically you can get a lot of things. There is a whole article around that. Again, if you talk about AI and data science, this is the most critical job of 21st century. If you want to be successful in your life, you need to be involved in both these fields. Again, I'm just skipping some of these quotes. I mean, these are all the quotes from people from Google, HP, LinkedIn, right? These are the people, right, who are talking about all these fields. So important concept. I was talking to one of the colleagues who is here, right? While we were coming from Nagpur to Wardha, right? And I told him about something called as predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So when we make use of data science, there are 4 categories. So first category is, we call it as descriptive analytics. In a way, we describe what happened. So if I look at my medical history, I can find out what transformed in my body. Second is diagnostic analytics, wherein why did it happen? So if there are certain medical tests which are done on me, I could know why certain disease happened to me and something like that. But slowly we are going towards the next area, which is called as predictive analytics, wherein we are able to forecast what will happen. And that is where we are developing many sensors, body sensors and things like that, wherein if I say you'll know before you fall ill, you'll be told that okay, you're going to have a flu, you're going to have a cough and things like that. And fourth category, which is prime, that's where everyone is going, and there are many examples of that. It's called as descriptive analytics, wherein how can we make it happen? So in a way, as Dr. Arvind also said, if you want to stay healthy, you need to do certain routine stuff. So similarly, using prescriptive analytics, you will be given feedback about your health so that you do certain things as part of your day-to-day life so that you don't fall in, or maybe you stay healthy, or if you want to achieve a particular kind of weight and other parameters of your body, so that could be collected using prescriptive analytics. So a lot of things what we are doing using AI and data science is around predictive analytics today, but we are slowly going towards something called as prescriptive analytics, wherein we are able to make things happen. So we are as if we'll be able to predict the future, and that's where everything is going. So I just wanted to keep it interactive, right? Some of you must have seen this meme. Whenever you go to a doctor these days, right, everyone searches for symptoms on Google. Even some speakers before me also referred this. So this doctor, he came up with a very good OPD charges. So if you want your diagnosis and your treatment, he's charging how much? 2,000 rupees. So, and this is a real viral thing. You should go and check this link out. And why I'm giving this example is this Google thing is a good, but at the same time it is bad also, because I have seen some deaths happening because people have just searched their symptoms, looked at maybe what the cure should be, right? And they have taken some wrong medicines. And since those medicines were not good for them, they kind of maybe suffered and maybe they lost their lives also. So my request to all the students is always trust your doctor. You can maybe find out what would be your symptoms, right? But at the same time, whatever doctor is saying, right, try to follow that. So slowly we are seeing big change in AI. Almost it's going to be 150 billion USD market, wherein we are going to be utilizing artificial intelligence in different areas. I'm going to quickly talk about that, what AI can do for you. So a lot of people might have questions, right? Where all we can use AI for solving real world things. So first is we can improve the accuracy of diagnosis and prognosis. One of the biggest problems doctor faces is finding out what the real cause of my disease is. So that is something which could be done in a better way. I'm already seeing some products, even we have been working on some specific things in healthcare, wherein we are able to identify certain diseases with more accuracy. And more importantly, we are able to find out what's going to be the progresses of those diseases as we grow and maybe become better. Again, we can improve the hospital processes, where we can bring in a lot of automation. Again, we can group the patients into different groups, and we can try and make the cure or the process of treating the patients more personalized. That is where we are going, and we are trying to reduce the human errors. We are going to be utilizing a lot of things around computer vision, pathology, and other areas. So ultimately, thought processes, we want to improve the quality of care, wherein population health outcome will be reduced using the healthcare cost which are issued. Ultimately, we want to bring the cost down and improve the patient care as much as possible using AI. So, some of the doctors in the room, my wife is a doctor, by the way, I have a lot of respect to all the doctors. So, people think doctor does not always know the best. end of doctors basically is happening because of AI, because a lot of tools are being developed. So that is what people are thinking. So I want to tell this audience is it's going to be something wherein doctors are going to be becoming more and more specialized. AI is going to be helping them to provide better care. But ultimately, this AI technology is to empower patients with the knowledge to improve their care outcomes in partnership with doctors. This is something which is very, very critical. Whatever we are doing, doctor is an expert, but these technologies are just assisting them. I give you an example of assisted intelligence and augmented intelligence. That is where we are utilizing these technologies to help the doctors. So these are some of the examples wherein we are using AI, machine learning, and deep learning. So in interest of time, I'm just skipping through this, but there are many cognitive systems which are out there using which we are able to solve many different problems, be it in radiology, pathology, cardiology. I can go on. There are many areas wherein a lot of innovation is happening, and we are able to really provide better patient care. So this is something which is going to happen in future, as I said, wherein we'll have prescriptive analytics happening. We'll take blood test of people, we'll have X-ray images, we'll also have the genetic information. We'll have an AI model, we will process that data continuously. And on the basis of that, we'll be able to give a personalized diagnosis, personalized treatment options, and more importantly, we'll have a prognosis wherein how, if it is a chronic disease, how that disease is going to be maybe progressing in future, that is something which we'll be able to control, and that is where everything is going slowly. So this is an example of again personalized healthcare. Maybe if I talk about this is going to take almost 30 minutes to describe all the pieces which are out there. Some of the things we are already doing, but ultimately idea is we are going to be collecting all the data from all the places. We'll use various apps which are out there, and we'll be able to train the data and create an analytic cloud which is going to help you provide more personalized health to every individual which is out there. And we'll be utilizing a lot of health trackers and things like that, and a lot of sensors on your body and things like that. Here is another example where we'll be utilizing robots. This is already happening. You heard about a lot of speakers before me, wherein even the doctor could be at a remote location and the surgery could be performed from a remote location. Already it is happening. There are many robots which are available from many famous companies like Da Vinci and others, wherein this is being done all the time. This is the example of future, wherein we'll be utilizing something called as augmented reality or extended reality, wherein using all the voice assisted control what I have, even I don't need to do any click. Using my voice, I'll be able to control most of the things and maybe make the whole operation semi-autonomous. That's where everything is going in terms of where we are going. Here is another example of holographic image. You can see the doctor is able to see using a HoloLens the complete heart diagram, right? And we are able to point out where the problem is and things like that. And that using that information, they're able to do a better surgery if it is surgical intervention is required. And these are all systems that are in existence. I'm not talking about something which is features. Here is another example. How many of you heard about DeepMind? Any shows of hand? DeepMind is good. So DeepMind is something again which is a Google company. So they have also developed something called as AlphaFold. If you have not heard about AlphaFold, this is one of the major breakthroughs of this century. Wherein if you want to identify our protein structure and maybe more genetic information in terms of why a particular disease happens. So this is the technology which has helped us in understanding which gene or which particular protein has impact on our body for causing a particular disease. So this problem was not solved for almost 50 years. So this was just solved last year, and this is one of the biggest breakthroughs where we are able to study our human genome structure in a better way and maybe do certain things which is going to help us in preventing any disease which might be happening in the future. So go and read about that so that you get more knowledge. Here is another example. If you don't know about it, go and check health.google. Don't remember that Google meme, but this is a really good site. If you want to find out in a way if you have some kind of ailment, right, on your skin, so you can simply use this app and it tells you what kind of maybe ailment it could be. But as I said earlier, this is just some kind of recommendation to you. You still need to go to your doctor, take the medicines according to that. Don't go by the app. They are not suggesting any kind of treatment to that. They are just telling what it could be, possible cause for that. And you need to still go to your doctor for that. Again, we are using AI in healthcare. When the COVID happened, a lot of things which were being predicted, they were being used. Using data science, we were able to tell when the peak is going to happen, what would be the number of cases and things like that. A lot of data scientists were involved when it was happening. Another area is drug discovery. This is something which used to take 10 years in past. Now the drug discovery process could be done in 1 to 2 years utilizing data science. And again, this is one of the breakthroughs. I request all the students in the group to look at the possibilities and the research problems which could be tackled in this particular area. And again, there is a lot of personalization happening. There are companies which are utilizing certain drugs which can be given to you, right? And maybe that could be personalized according to your body. And that is something again which is where a lot of research work is going on. So that maybe if I need to take insulin in my body, it could be customized according to my body if I'm a diabetic patient and things like that. A lot of innovation happening around that. That is where I request all the people to work on. Again, this is one example of creating a cognitive system wherein you are able to do the diagnosis based on certain inputs which are out. Okay, another trivia. Does anyone recognize this monkey? What that monkey is doing? Anyone in the room?
Blowing something.
Yeah, the monkey is blowing. Yes, very good. But what he is doing? No, not really. Again, very innovative. Right? So if you see, it's a game. It's a game basically. There is a ball. The monkey with his maybe breath, he is able to play that game. But does anyone know from where this image is taken? So in interest of time, I am going forward. So you all know Elon Musk, right? This is one of the projects from Elon Musk. It's called as Neuralink. And what they have done is they have implanted a chip in the monkey's brain. And monkey is just thinking and automatically that action is happening on the screen. And why I'm giving this example is the days are not far wherein the same chip could be implanted in maybe human head. I hope that doesn't happen. And maybe our thoughts could be controlled remotely. And this is something which is already happening, as I already said. So you can go and check this video and it's very interesting. There are certain challenges when I talk about AI. In interest of time, I'm very quickly going through this. You have a lot of complexities around workflows and other stuff, but there are many regulation, legal, and security challenges which needs to be addressed. Even I am personally working with some special groups in India and outside India so that some of these legal and ethical challenges could be addressed. Because ethical use of AI is something which is going to be very critical if you want to make this technology to be used for man. So another meme, just to close, I'm very close to finishing last 2-3 slides. So what the future doctor would do? Some of you can read it on the screen. So the good news is that you are perfectly fine. The doctor is saying to the patient. But the bad news is that my algorithm predicts you shall be dead in 2 days. That is what might happen in future. And I'm not joking because that's what is going to happen in future. Based on what from the logical perspective. Here are some more resources. If you want to know more about what is happening in this field, I highly recommend you to visit this website called as futurehealth.uci.edu. So this is the Institute of Future Health. Some of the things what I talked about in my session, most of the stuff they are already doing. We have the apps around that, and again we are collaborating with them on some of the aspects on which we are working. So definitely you should go and visit that site. Again, if you want to learn around artificial intelligence, here are some of my personal recommendations. It's a very vast field. As I said, I started learning almost 20 years back. I'm still learning because this field is advancing so fast that I need to keep learning about the new models, new algorithms, new problems which we need to solve, and we need to keep tweaking our algorithms and models so that we can make better use of that. I'm also part of an organization called as Global AI Hub, which is a Swiss organization. They have a mission to train almost 10 million people in AI. Generally, the courses what they're offering should cost around 300 to 400 euros, but they are giving these courses to all the people for free. You can go and register here and you'll get those courses for free. If you want to learn about artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, Python, most of their courses are free. And you can maybe take these courses online. You also get a certificate once you finish it. There is an assessment. And one good thing I like about this course is they want 5 million out of the 10 million to be females, so that we don't have gender problem when we are dealing with maybe having AI community develop in the future. That's where I will request all the female students that okay, they should definitely be part of this. So So I'll just close by summarizing. Artificial intelligence is just impacting every aspect of our life, but it is going to have a paradigm shift as far as healthcare is considered, and it's going to impact how we are going to be providing patient care, and more personalized healthcare will be provided as we go forward. But one last word of caution I would say is artificial intelligence is being used to make decisions about your life, whether you like it or not. That is one area we all need to work on. If we don't work on this as a human community, there would be a place in future wherein if this is not addressed properly, it could impact all of this. So one other thing I would say before closing, AI is not going to replace humans. It's going to help and give you more tools so that you can provide better care as healthcare providers. There are some of the links which are my article which I have written in past. There is a lot of good information about artificial intelligence. So I would like to quote Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam here. Excellence is the continuous process and not an accident. So all the students in this room, please remember this.
Yeah, the first day started with the VC felicitating the chief guest. I request him to felicitate him as well. So, you done very excellent job. This Aruba concert because 1 hour. No, that's yeah. Again, we'll do that. Going to our activities for our clinical colleges. Sure. That could be an medical student, that could be
Thank you so much, sir. I thank all the speakers for their wonderful and informative talks. Now we must move forward for a validation function, and I request Dr. Utkarsha ma'am to please continue.
all guests.
Please, all yes, please.
Ravikumar sir. Ravikumar sir. Is the Bhagwan DC? Yes. Welcome, sir.
The service of ancient India declared candidly, Sarvachya Lochana Shastra, meaning science is the only eye. It gives eyes of reasoning and perception to everyone. With that power of perception, we can see the dynamics of this nature in a critical and systematic manner to resolve the solution of life. And it is very well said that science of today is the technology of tomorrow. But every aspect of science should be powered by insightful intellect, which are driven by values. Otherwise, the technology of tomorrow would lead us to doomsday. This two-day higher education conclave on current opportunities in interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary professional education, a Techno Health program, is all about creating a balanced blend of various elements of science and technology to create methods of social utility in future.
A very good afternoon to one and all present over here, all the dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, all the advisors, speakers, faculties and students. I am Dr. Utkarsha Pacharni, the DA Academics of FEAT would like to welcome all of you for this humorous celebration of valedictory on Conclave on current opportunities in interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary professional education. Astonishing presentation of all esteemed and eminent speakers have boosted up the morale of the audience. I, on behalf of all the members of the organizing and coordinating team, would like to extend the warm appreciation to every scholarly speaker who has presented excellent talks and have enlightened this day. Thank you, everyone. With this, we begin our formal welcome. So I would request our Dean, Professor K.T.V. Reddy, sir, to felicitate Chief Guest Dr. Sundar Pal, ex-eminent scientist, ISRO, BC, DI.
Surendra Pal, not Sundar Pal.
He's
Sundar Pal also.
Surendra Pal.
He's Sundar also, that is right. Thank you very much.
May I request the Chief Guest to be- May I request the Chief Guest of today to present his guiding remark on this particular session?
So you are the chief guest.
Yeah, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, my dear students. Well, first of all, thank you for giving me a chance to speak on all the young students. And actually, what Dr. Ravi told, I learned a lot of things, particularly from the last speaker, Dr. Rizwan. And Dr. Rizwan Ahmad said something that is from the second year college. Right? For the sake of engineers, I want to tell you one thing. First is, as I told you, my speech, engineer can do anything.
Everything.
Anything he can do. He can become an engineer, he can become IAS, IPS, he can, that they are becoming. He can become a doctor also. So, a lot of things he can do, particularly the modern tools of artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, and of course your common sense, which is most important. And the last thing which I want to tell you is that, again I am taking up Rizwan's this one second year college. And you may also consider yourself because you are not from IIT, ISC, or IIM. I am associated with 4 big organizations of this India. Indian Space Research Organization, I spent 42 years. Atomic Energy, where I was an advisor. DRDO, where I spent 5 years. And CSIR, where next year I became an honorary professor. Okay, and also associated. 99.9% of the engineers are from tier 2 colleges only. Not from IIT. Only thing is common sense. Maybe you did not get a chance to go to IIT. It does not mean that the IITs are IIT because of students only. So here also you have students who can do wonders. Why you have to go to IIT? Facilities are available almost everywhere. And interdisciplinary conference which they were organized and lots of conference and lectures I heard about it. Very wonderful. You can get lots of inspiration from there. And if I can be any help to anybody, Techno is good friend of mine for decades now. He's got all the inputs. I can guide in communication, space technology. One student asked me how to get into ISRO. So you can get it ISRO, DRDO, CSI, you get to, their sites are there, and through the interview you can get it. Working in ISRO is great. Working any atomic energy, DRDO, PSI is great, and you can do a lot of things to improve of work. Let me tell you, if you can start your own thing, that will be much better. Couple of group of persons can join together. Like Dr. Das talked about cluster of colleges. I'm saying have a cluster of students of various disciplines and start something that will be much better. Even we in ISRO also we are thinking that we should leave the things outside. Only R&D can be doing this. So the institutes will be created, NIS will be created. So government is encouraging and the lecture on MSME should take the things from that also. So today's environment is wonderful. When I passed out, I think I'm the senior most person. We have age wise and gray hair. When we passed out, there were no opportunities. Either you go abroad or join one of the there are no colleges also. Join this no radio atomic energy like that. Or go abroad. You were only two choices. I chose the first one because into the when I interaction with Dr. Sarabhai. Last thing I want to tell you halfway, I met Dr. Sarabhai. I also worked with the Dr. Kalam, and he was a project director of SLU3. I used to review the TTC. I'm a young person reviewing this TTC because not many RF engineers were there. So I met Dr. Sarabhai once, and I did my MTech of learning quantum electronics. Quantum electronics, what MRI, CAT scanning, all those things were doing was in initial stages at the time, theoretical stage. So, and I was asked to work on the antennas and communication system of the first satellite, Rohini, which was to go on Dr. Kalam's rocket. So I went and met Dr. Sarabhai. I said, sir, I come from this background, and I have been asked to work on antennas which I never studied. He took me to his room. He gave me a lecture in 15 minutes. And I can tell you one thing, really think what he told just is, if you read a subject for 1 month, you will know what is the subject. If you spend 6 months seriously on that subject, you will become an expert. So it's artificial intelligence, machine learning, whatsoever you want to do it, spend 6 months, you will become an expert. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your generosity of getting students to come and work with you. Thank you very much. Right. I would also request any of the speaker to give their guiding remarks, if they have any.
We are not going to each one.
Yes. Otherwise, we have thought individually we would have taken the remarks.
Dr. Arvind Kumar, thanks. All the way from Square he came. Honorable Vice Chancellor, I see, Vice Chancellor, namaste. So, actually, this to reach here was a plan of like last week. Last plan. Yeah. It's wonderful to be here. Very nice facility. I don't think you need to go out and all those things. You have everything. I mean, sitting here in between all these academics is making me nervous. But so much of aura around. Yeah. Thankful for that this moment. And I think all these students will now enter into multidisciplinary subjects and all. We have all these facilities and I'm very happy to be here and having this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to present the report, summary report of the 2 days which took place. It all started with the inaugural ceremony that was adorned with intellect and stalwarts who words of wisdom lit the spirit of audience. Respected and revered speaker, Honorable Co-Chancellor Dr. Meghe Mishra, candidly opened the speech and consists the galaxy of scientific communities to find path-breaking ideas for diversification of technology in healthcare. Then Chief Guest Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan, Chairman Executive Committee NAC, projected his thoughts on interdisciplinary collaboration. Extreme speakers and guest of honor Dr. Sanjay Zolpe, who was the President Public Health Foundation, also talked about and addressed the audience and spoke about cross-sectional linkage in public health. Dr. Thackeray, IPP, the Institute of Engineers India, narrated interdisciplinary approach and success in field of medicine. Dr. Ramesh Dhaka, the former director, AIIMS, presented a speech about success of laboratories and clinical achievements. He also emphasized the power of technology in the field of medicine and surgery. Dr. Shantanu Dhara, Professor IIT Kharagpur, spoke about biomaterial usage for human implantations. Dr. Rupesh Ghayar, SEO, BETIC, IIT Mumbai, spoke about togetherness of doctors, engineers, and entrepreneurs. On the same day in the afternoon, after the lunch, we had a roundtable discussion. It was a wonderful and a brainstorming roundtable discussion on curriculum design for Techno program at the boardroom of FEAT Administrative Block. And it was chaired by Dr. Bhushan Patwardhan. We also had Dr. Kalpesh Bhatt, Dr. B. Satyanarayanan, Dr. R.K. Vyas, Dr. Om Prakash Thackeray. We also had the fortune of Dr. Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. Lalit Bhushan Patwardhan sir with us, and Madam Trupti Vagmare was the moderator along with Dr. K.T.D. Reddy. I was also present, and it was presented by Dr. Mr. Gaurav Srivastav. Many valuable suggestions were given by the experts, and they also appreciated the initiative taken by this university to initiate interdisciplinary agenda wherein medical and engineering students will be benefited and they could pursue their interest in healthcare and technical domain. Dr. Patwardhan also made an important suggestion that we should start a course on logical thinking or higher order cognitive skills and open door for new research areas like precision medicine or individual or personalized medicine. A panel session was going on in the seminar hall wherein we had Dr. Satyanarayan who spoke about research and engineering technology in service of healthcare and medicine. Dr. Kshitij Kumar, who had joined us virtually and who is a Vice President with Healthcare Philips, discussed about the healthcare systems in India. They use differentials between private and public sectors working in healthcare. After that, Om Prakash Thackeray, Director IIT Nagpur, focused on the importance of interdisciplinary approach and convergence of technologies. Dr. Kalpesh Bhatt, molecular imaging, he spoke about, and whatever other imaging technologies and trends, he spoke about the importance and advantages of both. Here, when the sessions were going on in FEAT, parallelly at JNMC pathological lab also there were sessions which were going on. We had a session on 3D bioprinting, a state-of-art technology and its challenges. Dr. Sumit Gutra had spoken about it. Then some technologies that can transform human healthcare, that was taken up by Professor Ramesh Dhaka. Role of biomedical consortium in interdisciplinary world, role of WHO in Indian system of medicines, transdisciplinary education and outcome-based learning, and last, regulatory approach and ethical consideration for healthcare. All these sessions were parallelly going on in JNMC. Day 2, that is today, where we had, and all of you were witness to what beautifully all the speakers spoke. So I'm not going to give you a summary of what exactly happened today, right? What I would like to summarize is the feedback which we have got from the students and the participants who had actually come and attended this particular session. So let me tell you, 95% of the students and participants.
915 are registrations which is done for this conference, and both the halls full human beings and.
So that is the success of this particular conclave. So all of the participants mentioned that they are looking forward to see some like these sessions in future also. And they requested that whenever such kind of sessions are there, please notify us so that we can participate in that. So that was it from my end. I would like Professor K.T.D. Reddy to give the presidential address.
Maybe one word I can tell that I think this is the only conference, one of the conference where 100% speakers are come and they all delivered the best talks in the So I am really happy that my management and my colleagues who are spent a lot of efforts to make it success along with my students and participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Yes. Audience feedback. If anyone would like to come and just share his thoughts. Yes.
Good afternoon, Honorable Dais, Vice Chancellor, sir, and all the dignitaries on the dais and the student members. What to talk about this conclave, interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary professional education. Three big topics that have been mixed up, and in 2 days that have been done. With the galaxy of speakers that we all experienced here. It is not only the talk of town of Savangi, talk of town of Wardha, but talk of town of Maharashtra also, because I am one of the associated faculties at Techno College of Engineering and Technology Amravati, wherein I keep on getting messages or they want to talk to me. So I said, these 2 days, please do not disturb me because I am there in the conclave. So it has really been a great treat for us. The footfall of great personalities here, and they deliberated talks. And I hope, as like few of the students also expressed through their Google feedback, that this should continue. The footfall of these great galaxy people should continue here. And I would, in fact, suggest the authorities here that this type of conclave they can have every second year or third year. And anyways, we are now into the third part, which is the professional education, and we have been talking about the NEP also. So that would definitely bring us all on the common platform, and we look ahead that the hall which we sat yesterday would be a smaller hall after those 2 years when we call the galaxy of people, and I really look forward for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful thought.
We are demanded, VC sir, to have at least 5,000 capacity in this auditorium.
Hello. Good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Let me introduce myself. I am Sriram Kargappa. I am Assistant Professor at MIT Arts and Science College, Alandi, Pune. So I came to know about this conclave from my dear friend Dr. Ravindra Prasad. And on the same day, 2 days back, 2 days before I came to learn, immediately looking at the topic interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary education, I couldn't hold myself to attend this, and immediately I booked tickets and managed to come here and attend it. The purpose was, the intention was to gain knowledge, and I saw the expert panel on this, and I just wanted to, the motive behind it, actually my subject is statistics, and here again all about the healthcare, medical and engineering. But I couldn't put myself to acquire knowledge. Actually, these are the experts, and this is a really, sir, let's say, it is a galaxy of experts, right? So I came here purely to gain knowledge about this field. So thank you so much. There are so many things, but lack of time. So thank you so much for giving such a wonderful suggestion. What I noticed from this management is extremely good. I'm just overwhelmed with the hospitality given by the management. I'm thankful to Dr. Reddy sir, Dr. Wardha sir, and entire staff. They have really, I'm amazed with the facilities and with the hospitality. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like any student to come and give his feedback. Anybody wanting to give feedback, students? Come,
One
sir.
should come at least.
One should come, at least one.
Yeah.
Yes, come.
Yeah,
Please, come.
please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Kunal Yuse, and I am very thankful to our Dean, Dr. PTV Reddy sir, for this amazing session. I never thought of that this much knowledgeable person, and I never heard about that transdisciplinary and interdisciplinary are on the way, and sir is doing, these people are doing this to us, but now I am very thankful to them that they provide us and they organize this great program. Thank you, sir.
So that is a real honest feedback. Okay. So as sir has already told that we had around 900 plus participants. So here we are going to give certificate to few of them who are present over here. So I would request our chief guest.
And let's
Yes, Vice Chancellor.
Hello,
Please,
yes.
please
Let's start.
I just read out the name. Sriram Kargaonkar, MEER, Pune, Assistant Professor. Ms. Neha Saklekar.
आप चीफ गेस्ट
Ms. Neha Saklekar, Assistant Professor, PhD, Bhagwati College of Engineering in Nagpur. Mr. Bhupesh Lodkar, DMIHER, Wardha. Sakshi Anupam, FEAT, graduate student. Aditya Bharande, AIML, FET first year student. Ahash Kamle, AIDS, SET second year student.
अरे जोर से ताली बजाओ, भूख लग रही है क्या?
Tanya Petkar, first year student. Isha Jog, second year student. Thank you very much.
So all others will get online.
Yes, all of the other participants will get it.
Certificate you will get those who have participated. Those who have not participated today, no certificates.
Thank you very much, sir. Now may I request Dr. Lalit Bhushan Wagmare, Honorable Vice Chancellor, to give his presidential address.
I am very well aware of the time when everybody is hungry, I can tell. But I'll take not more than 3 minutes to conclude the whole thing which has been done since last a couple of days. As sir was also saying, I am, and that student was also saying, even I am feeling very flabbergasted to sit amongst the galaxy of people who are attending this conclave and giving their inputs. I congratulate the whole team of Department of R&D, FEAT, and Jawaharlal Nehru Medical College, led by Dr. K.K. Reddy sir, Abhay Gaidane sir, and Dr. Pazi sir, for organizing this event, which is a gala event. And I am sure that there are so many learnings which will go a long way in shaping your career well. I just want to, tell the honorable speakers here that in continuation of the learnings out of this conference, what we are doing is we are organizing on 25th of March a Vice Chancellor's Conclave in Nagpur, where we are expecting around 25 Vice Chancellors of universities where both engineering and medical schools are there. So they will be contributing, and we will be creating a channel or credit line for academic bank of credits, where these courses, if they pursue some part in this university, that will be recognized in those universities as well, so that the conference goes to a logical end. And as advised by sir, we will plan at least one such event in a year, so that these children are not only inspired, but they actually end up being on this side of the I express my immense thanks to everyone who has contributed. I cannot name a single individual, but everybody was totally involved as if it was their daughter's marriage. So, yes, sir, post marriage, we will have a celebration. Don't worry. For our own team. And congratulations, one and all. Just the last line of this thing. When we were students, we were all afraid of what will happen if computers come and they will take up our jobs. So that was the fear which was there in the minds, and everybody was looking towards computers in a very skeptic way, that what will happen to the labor, what will happen to the manpower. And look at after 25 years of progression of computers, people are getting more jobs, more opportunities, more information. Similar thing is going to happen about AI. So nothing to be worried about. AI is just opening a horizon of opportunities, which will create more opportunities, even further our knowledge, further our learnings, and further our state of living. So with this positivity, we should embrace the changes which are happening in AI world, and also keeping in mind what Dr. Rizwan said, it has to be used in terms of all the ethical considerations. This should be our primary concern. And as educators, like what Google is doing, everything is available on Google. Our job is to understand and let me know that it requires brilliance to create an atom bomb, but it requires intelligence not to use it. So that is the difference with what educators can do today, and that is what we are going to do, sir, in this particular university. And I once again thank everybody for coming here today and yesterday's, all the dignitaries. Thank you so much. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So before we come to the vote of thanks, I would like to announce the theme for the next year's conference, which is bridging the gap of techno-medical education in relation with new education policies. So now I call upon Mr. Amit.
We are good topic also.
So I call upon Amit Gurve to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this special occasion. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who bless us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to all the invited eminent speakers, advisors, organizing committee and coordinators. Words are not enough to thank their constant guidance and support to shape the higher education conclave and on current opportunities in interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary professional education scheduled on 21st and 22nd of January 2023 at Datta Meghe Institute of Higher Education and Research, Including University, in collaboration with the Institution of Engineers India and Public Health Foundation of India. First of all, on behalf of DMIHER DU, I convey deep regards and hearty thanks to all our eminent speakers who were present yesterday and today. Honorable Professor Bhushan Padwardhan, Chairman Executive Committee NAC, Dr. A.N. Kuthe, Professor VNIT Nagpur, Dr. Shantanu Tara, Professor IIT Kharagpur, Dr. Rupesh Gayer, SEO Pedixel IIT Bombay, Mr. Sumant Bhutoria, CEO and Founder Alphatech System, Dr. Ramesh C. Deka, Former Director AIMS Delhi, Mr. Mrityunjay Jainad, Scientist G, Head Accreditation and Training at AMTZ, Visakhapatnam, Dr. Surendra Pal, Vice Chancellor, Defence Institute of Advanced Technology, Pune, Dr. Pawan Kumar Gottawar, Consultant, WHO Asia Pacific, Dr. Bhim Raya Maitri, Director, IIM Nagpur, Dr. Anil Kumar, PR, Scientist G, Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Sciences and Technology, Trivandrum, Dr. B. Satyanarayan, Scientist Officer H, TIFR, Mumbai and JL, IEEE Bombay Section, Dr. Om Prakash Kakadi, Director, IIIT Nagpur, Mr. Kalpesh Bhatt, Business Head, Molecular Imaging, Siemens Healthineers India, Mr. Sitish Kumar, Vice President, Health System at Philips, Gurgaon, Haryana, Dr. Arvind Kumar, Center Head, Tata Consultancy Services, Dr. Rizwan Ahmed, Chief Technology Officer, Delaplex, Dr. Mohan Raghul, Scientist, AMTZ, Visakhapatnam, Dr. R.K. Vyas, Ex-President of CSI, and Dr. Ravi Kumar, M. Giri Vardhan. I express my sincere gratitude towards all the advisors for their continuous support. Our own Honorable Shri Dattaji Meghe, Chancellor of this University, Honorable Shri Sagarji Meghe, Principal Advisor, DMIHER DU, Honorable Dr. Ved Prakash Mishra Sir, Pro Chancellor and Chief Advisor, DMIHER DU, Honorable Professor Sanjay Zodpe, President, Public Health Foundation of India, Honorable Dr. Hemant Thakre, Immediate Past President, the Institution of Engineers, India, Honorable Dr. Lalit Bhushan Wagmare, Vice Chancellor, DMIHER DU, Honorable Dr. Gaurav Mishra, Vice Chancellor, DMIHER DU, Honorable Dr. Shweta Pisukar, Registrar, DMIHER DU, Honorable Dr. Raju Gurle, Director General, DMIHER DU, Honorable Dr. S.S. Patel, Chief Coordinator, DMIHER DU. I would like to thank our organizing committee members, Engineer Milind Pathak, Chairman of IEI, Nagpur, Dr. Deepak Saxena, Professor and Registrar, IIPH, Gandhinagar of PHFI, Dr. Abhay Gailani, Dean, JNMC, DMIHER DU, Dr. KDV Reddy, Dean, FEAT, DMIHER DU, and Dr. Tripti Wagmare, Director, IQAC, DMIHER DU. I am thankful to all our coordinators for their endless efforts to make this conclave successful. Dr. Ujjwal Gajpee, Dean, DMMC, DMIHER DU, Dr. Punit Fulzare, Deputy Director, R&D, DMIHER DU, Dr. Ashutosh Bagre, Research Scientist, R&D and FEAT, DMIHER DU, and Dr. Utkarsha Pathak, Dean Academics, FEAT, DMIHER DU. I am again very much thankful to all the delegates who bless us with their presence. Also, I am thankful to all the university officials, deans, dean academics, faculty members of all constituent institutes of the university who are directly and indirectly involved in the organization of the event. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants, volunteers, students, and non-teaching staff for making the event a grand success. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would request everyone to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा इंद्र हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
So everyone can proceed for lunch.
Students, kindly something to prepare copies.